Hey everybody, Steve here from the 2 Meters, and today's guest is Jack Conteh. I've known Jack from when he was 17 years old, when he was outlifting everybody in the gym. He's gone on to play rugby for Sale, England, and also lifting crazy numbers in powerlifting. He set up his own supplement company, Conteh Sports, a couple years ago. So today we're going to do a deep dive into what it takes to set up your own supplement startup. So Jack, let's talk about kind of how you got into training. What age and when did you start lifting these big weights?
So I originally started training when I was 14. Don't know, it's kind of that time of year when, because my background's rugby, it's that time of year when people start going to the gym. At that age. So I got into the gym at 14, didn't take it too seriously, I just did like a few days a week. And then as things went on, as I went, you know, through the ranks of like playing rugby and playing a better standard, like the gym had more of an importance. So probably when I was like 16, I started taking the gym more seriously. Like I was on a proper program. I started looking into what I was eating, and then it just kind of went from there really. At 16. So
which club were you like getting scouted by at that age then?
So I originally started rugby when I was like young. I was like 8 or 9, and I played for Altrincham Kersal, which was just a local club. And then it was at either I think I was 14. 14, I got picked to go to Sale, and then that was just literally like you'd go and train at Sale on a Monday and a Wednesday night at that point. So train on a Monday and Wednesday, and then the rest of the time you were playing with your grassroots club. But from like 14 to 18, I was with Sale.
Right. So how many times a week were you then training?
So at 14, it was just Monday and Wednesday. And then when I was 16, 17 and 18, we would have pre-season. That was every day, Monday to Friday. And then in the week, back when you were either at school or at college, it was just twice a week. But bearing in mind, the college I went to was in partnership with Sale, so it was like a feeder academy, so I was literally just playing rugby every day pretty much from 16 to 18.
Nuts. So then like they introduced you to training. So did you have like a specific coach, or did they do it in groups, or how did it
So like I say, when I was 16 to 18, I went to college in Preston, to my school college, and I lived in there Monday to Friday. And like it was very, they say you were there to do education, but it was very much rugby first, and then education came second to that. But that was just like the underground rule. Like everyone knew what the crack really was. So training wise and in gym, we had our own S&C coach there, and we would, on a Monday, we would wake up at 8, and we would be in the gym from 8 till 9:30. Then from 10 o'clock till 12:30, we'd be on the pitch training. And then at about 2 till 5, you were meant to have lessons in the college. But it just used to get to the point where the teacher was just like, right, you've got your assignments, go and crack on with it. So some days, I'm not even joking, your lessons would be 10 minutes long. And like you're 16, 17, and like you just go and get on with your day, you'd go and have a laugh with your mates, but then you'd probably go to the gym again at night. Because like what we used to do was we'd have like S&C in the morning, which was like compulsory, but everyone wanted to go anyway. And then at night you'd go and train chest and arms. You know what I'm saying? Literally, that's how it.
Bodybuilding stuff.
That's how.
So what kind of like numbers were you hitting at that age?
When I was 16, I was like, and I first started like properly training and like looking into it more seriously. Like I remember my first few weeks at my school, I was so weak, like I was squatting like 80 kg for like 8 reps. Really? Benching like 80 kg again for like 2 or 3 reps. And then deadlift like 120, 130 maybe. So I was just probably like normal for like a person of like my height and weight and age at that time. So like I was naturally big. I was probably like 90 kilos at 16. 92 maybe. So for that, it was just very average. And then the progression from like 16 to 18 was just because it was like not an intense environment. You basically get hot housed for 2 years, and you your whole life revolves around gym and rugby, so naturally you just get bigger. All your meals are there at the college.
Yeah.
So you'd have like your breakfast, lunch and dinner all provided, but then you'd eat your own food on top of that, so naturally you just grew.
Yeah.
And the progression from 16 to 18 was just mad.
Yeah, because I think I started training you for a little bit at 17, like helping with your nutrition and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can remember you like squatting over 200 then.
Yeah.
And I think you were like 17. What was your dead and bench like then?
So I would have just turned 18 then. And I was squatting 240. I've still got the video of you squatting 240. I benched 185 and a deadlift. My best deadlift was 260 at the time.
Yeah. Don't say that's bad because that's my PB. And you're doing that at 18. I was like, okay.
So yeah, I was pretty strong for me.
Yeah. So did you see yourself like going down the rugby route, or did you see yourself going down the kind of powerlifting route?
Oh no, back then it was just like strictly rugby. So with my rugby, what happened was at 18, there's like a signing day, and then so without like sounding like big-headed, I was a good player.
Yeah.
And I was worthy of being signed, but there was two lads there. One was called Diogo, who's from Portugal, and another lad was called Jake Pope. And we were all in the same year. We all played the same position. We all played for Sale. We all played international rugby.
Yeah.
So we were all three very good props. And then Jake and Diogo were like two. One was really good at one thing, one was really good at another, and I was kind of like in between, like I could do a bit of both. So Diogo was really good at scrummaging, which is like your bread and butter as a prop.
Yeah.
And then Jake was really good as a ball carrier. Like you couldn't stop him when he got a ball in his hand. Like he'd just run for meters. Whereas I was a bit of both. So Sale just kind of went with the extremes of both and picked them two. And they went off and have done their own thing. I think Jake's still with Sale now. Diogo's now gone back to Portugal. He's playing it. I think he's playing. No, sorry, went to Portugal. Now he's playing at Spain. In Spain. So them two got signed over me, and then what happened with me was because I didn't get signed, then you get all the universities that are after you, because university rugby in the first league, like the top league, is very big.
Massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really big. So there was Northumbria and there was Durham that like wanted to like get me to come to the uni basically. And I was on for Durham, like I was ready, I was going to go to Durham. And then Northumbria came along and like, just come and have a look and just see what we're about. And at the time, Durham were in California on a tour. And I was trying to get hold of the coach, and it was a bit difficult. It was a bit like back and forth and all this. I was telling him like, oh, I'm unsure, like where would I fit in and all this. You've got all these, because they had good props as well. And I was like, would I get first team time and all that? So I wasn't like, I wanted reassurance from the coach and I wasn't getting it.
Yeah.
So I went to Northumbria and they showed me the facilities and they sold you the dream. We'll offer you this is your scholarship. They just like chucked a load of money at me and like, you won't have to pay this, you'll get this money. So I went to Northumbria. I was there for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like the setup or anything. And I wasn't a fan of how, it sounds daft because I'm from Manchester, but I wasn't a fan of how big the city was and how spread out the campus was. Everything was so difficult to find. So literally like rang my mum. It was like midnight. Rang my mum. I was like, Mum, I'm not happy. Like I want to come home.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't like it. And at the time, my dad was doing work like up that way, based in Hartlepool, and no word of a lie. I got off the phone to my mum at like midnight. By 1 o'clock, my dad was there with a van. Had no idea where he got this van from. With a van, put all my stuff in the van, and I came home. And then that was that. I just sent the coach a text. I was like, I'm not coming back. Sorry, thanks for the opportunity. And then for a year, all I did was train, and I worked. Obviously, I had to work, train, and worked. And then I was like, what am I going to do? And then one night, I was driving, I was going over the Barton Bridge past the Trafford Centre, and I got a phone call off Alex Key, who's the head coach at Durham. Right. And he was like, oh, we've heard you dropped out of Northumbria. you know, would you like to come? And I was just like, yeah, I'd love to. And then it was a Friday night, and then I think he was driving as well in his car, and he was like, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ring you on Monday morning. And then Monday morning he made a great offer, a lot better offer than I previously got.
Yeah.
So then the following September, that's when I went to uni.
So how many, did they do that to kind of all the people that they see prospects in the rugby, for their rugby first team? Or is it just kind of the select few?
So
because they must see like from a business perspective, like unis and businesses, aren't they?
Yeah, of course it is.
So then, do they then get a deal further down the line if then you sign for like Durham Rugby Club?
Yeah, so I think how it works is they have a budget, and then they just allocate it.
Yeah.
In terms of how good the player is or what position they're in need of at the time, and then like with me coming a year late.
Yeah.
The reason I think I got offered a better offer is because there would have been like props leaving, and I would have just naturally filled that place. Whereas before, there was an overload in props. If I came that first year, there would have been an overload of props, and I probably would have played like second team or something. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But go on, sorry.
No. So I was just going to say like. So when you went to, so you took the offer.
Yeah.
And then like what were you doing at uni, and how intense was the going to university in comparison to kind of the club level stuff of being sale?
So with uni I was used to, because I'd been to my school, the college, where that was literally Monday to Friday was rugby and it was gym, and that was it. So in terms of like the training and all that, it was fine. Like it was just normal. But what was difficult, because like I said, at my school it was you're here to play rugby, and then your education is like second. They won't ever say that, but that is just how it was. What I struggle with Durham is it's a ridiculously academic.
Yeah, it is a top uni.
Academic uni. So in my first year, the struggle to balance playing rugby and then like doing assignments and proper like academic writing, like that was just like completely foreign to me. Because at college my best friend was Wikipedia, like genuinely. So now when you've got Turnitin and all that technology that they use to check your assignments. I guess you used to
like have to do like, because I did the same, what you did sport
exercise and physical activity.
So I did like sports and exercise science. So it's like doing statistics on
SPSS. Well, funny story about SPSS. So that was just like the bane of my life. Hated it. I was rubbish at it, and you have to do it in your first year of uni. And it was just before we were going on tour to Singapore and New Zealand in that first year. So that was like my last assignment, that SPSS, and I'd done all my exams, handed it in, I get an email, and I was in Cosmos Gym in Sale actually, and I get an email, it was like, hi Jack, because the uni's still open at that point. It's still open for a month, even though everything's done, the uni's still on, and everyone just sort of like goes out and parties, don't they, for that month. Well, I came home and I just went to the gym. That was it. But I had an email off like my head of the course, like, hi Jack, you need to come for a meeting with me tomorrow at like 12 o'clock. And I knew straight away, basically, I was rubbish at SPSS. Like, I was just like, oh, I don't have time for it, I'm not doing it. And I said to my friend, I was like, will you just send me your work? Like 90% of it came up on Turnitin, like plagiarised, and you just like, explain yourself, and I was just like, I'll be honest, I plagiarised it, and then basically just gave me like a proper telling off. They were like, listen, if you were in your second year, you'd be chucked out of uni for this, and all that. So yeah, that worked out well in the end. But in terms of, you know, that transition from going from college to uni, the biggest struggle of that was the academic side, 100%.
So let's kind of fast forward a little bit. So your life kind of was really focused around rugby in the gym, and kind of education and everything was kind of pushed to the side to kind of pursue the career in sport. And then you obviously get the scholarship for one of the top unis to play sport again. But then you have now a successful supplement company. So what kind of things did you have to learn, or how did you educate yourself into developing a business?
Just just sort of Googled and trialed and errored. That
Yeah.
was literally it, and it was.
What sparked you to want to set up Conteh
a
Sports?
business. So it got to a point with rugby where it was just like, for me, and I'm realistic with myself, and it was just like, if I was to play rugby, I'll get signed after uni, but I'll probably get signed in the championship team.
Yeah.
And like, not that money is the be all and end all, but like, I've been injured so many times. I've had both my shoulders operated on. I've had multiple concussions, and it's just like, what's the risk and what's the reward?
Yeah, like the longevity of
Yeah,
a rugby career.
Exactly, and I'll be honest, championship rugby's not great. Like, you can go and get a normal job in town and get paid similar. So I was just like, and that's what I was going to head for. So it was just like, do you play championship for a few years with the hope to go up a league and go into the Prem? Or do you just go, do you know what, let's focus your energy on something else? And
When did that moment come? Was it a single moment, or was it a transition, or?
I sort of always knew that, like, it was probably in like my third year of uni, that if I was going to get signed, I was going to go to a championship team. And then when I went to go back to do my master's year, and I was playing great that year as well, my master's year, like, I got picked. I only played half the season because I dropped out, obviously, and for whatever reason there was a mess up. I don't know if they didn't get told, but England students picked me to play, even though I hadn't been playing for half the season. So like, I was playing, like I say, I was playing well. So I just think, like, in the third year, I kind of realised, and like, as time went on, it was just like, the offers that I'm getting told about, they're all championships clubs, and I was weighing up that risk to reward. And then it was just like, and then I had it in my head like, oh, you're doing international business now at uni. And a lot of lads there from Durham, they're all from like Surrey, they're all like from down south.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, a lot of the families and a lot of the parents are all like corporate, working banks, you know, all like these big firms. And then, because you're around it, you kind of get into the same thinking as them. And then it's just like, yeah, I'll go and work in a bank, or I'll go and work at Amazon, or do you know what I mean? And it's just like, and then you sit down and you go, well, you hate wearing a suit, you hate being told what to do, so why would you go and do any of that? Because especially if you go and get a corporate job, you're going to be right at the bottom of the pile, and you're going to get, to be blunt, you're going to be the skivvy. And I was like, I don't really want to be that. So, and you can go and get a job at any time. Like, you've got your degree, you can get a job at any time. So I was just like, why don't you go and do something that you just want to do, and like, you'll wake up on a Monday morning dead early to go and do it? Like, why? So that was my thought process. I was like, I'm just going to go and do something I want to do. And I always said, like, I'm either going to do, like, when people would ask me, like, what do you want to do? I'm like, either open a gym or own a supplement company. And I have no idea how to do either of them both, but I'm just like, I'm just going to do it and see what happens.
So when did you decide for the supplement company?
So I started, like, playing with the idea it was 2018. Yeah, it was 2018, started playing with the idea. Then in 2019, at the start of the year, like, registered the company, started making inquiries with manufacturers. And then started putting things together. And then, started putting things together. And then I was writing my dissertation at the time, and then it got put on the back burner a bit. And then after my dissertation, I was sort of like, just wanted to chill for a bit. And then I was going to California to play, like, on a rugby tour. And then when I came back from California, that's when I, like, launched the company. Everything was set up, ready to go. I launched the website. There was no, like, big hype up, like, I'm doing this company. No one knew about it. Literally launched the company, sent everyone on Instagram a direct message, like, can you go and follow this page? I've launched this company. Nice one, thanks. And that was it.
I think that's like a really good approach, because I think people, when they're setting up a new thing, they kind of like hype it up, hype it up. But then you actually just took the action first. And then kind of get the hyping further down the line.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
That was it. And then I launched it, and then I was doing it through summer, and it was going well. And then.
So what was the first product that you launched?
So it's because it's been so much trial and error, and it's just been, there's not been like a real there's not been a real business plan. Like, at the start there wasn't. Like I think I did my first business. Well, I did do my first business plan like this year.
Yeah.
Because now things are getting like serious.
Yeah.
But to start with, it was literally just like, let's just see what happens. So I didn't actually launch one product. I went to this manufacturer because it was the manufacturer I could afford.
Yeah.
And I launched a range of products.
Okay, so what did you launch then?
A whey, an all-in-one, a mass gainer, a fat burner. What else?
You're like laughing. Like,
Yeah.
why are you like?
Pre-workout pump, because
how are you viewing it now?
Because, like, I look at like, and I wanted to get involved in supplements badly, but to do a run of Mega Pump now, so just for that one product in one flavour,
Yeah.
costs the same amount of the 9 products that I did with the previous manufacturer. So I just wanted to get involved. I just wanted the company. So,
but you got to have that step, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
To like evolve, to create a bit of cash flow, to like then go down kind of the brands, kind of like the products that you're at now.
Exactly. So it was all about just, flipping them products, and the goal always was like, I want to move manufacturer. Like as soon as those product launched, I was like, I want to move manufacturer. I know where I want to be, but I was like, they cost X amount.
Yeah. And
they cost X amount because they manufacture the majority of the leading brands in the UK.
Yeah.
So that's why they cost that, and that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
And then I was just flipping the products, and then it was going well, and then it got to a point where I was like, right, I can afford to do one product with this manufacturer, which was Conviction.
So when did that launch?
That was in August of 2020.
And what is Conviction?
That's our stimulant-based pre-workout. So it's stimulant and nootropic based.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's strong.
Yeah.
So launched with Conviction first. That went great. I contacted a load of retailers. Like, look, I'm launching like I said that it was my first product, when in fact it wasn't. I had these 9 products before that I did with my previous manufacturer, but they would have never got stocked in a shop.
Right.
Whereas these, I knew, like, I was so confident in them because I know how good they are.
Yeah. So what is the process of like let's rewind, and you've had years and years of experience in the gym, lifting crazy weights. So you're very experienced in both like sport of rugby and in the gym.
Yeah.
You must have been trialing products throughout the time of the gym journey. I think every gym goer loves to try like a new supplement and hop from one thing to the other.
Yeah.
So what kind of brought you to, how do you devise a certain panel for, say, Conviction?
So with that, so when you start out, when you're like 16, you take Optimum Nutrition, you take My Protein, you take USN, you take all these massive brands because that's all you see. And then you get a bit more educated and like, actually, these products are all underdosed.
Yeah.
And these are all based on profit margins, hence why they're underdosed. So I started just following a few people on Instagram, YouTube, and I started getting clued up on like what to look for. And that was probably like 18, started to get clued up. So how long did it take you to then release Conviction since 18? Was that like 3 years? 4 years? That would be, I would have been 23. Yeah, 23, so.
Like 5 years basically of research to go into one product.
Pretty much, yeah. And you look at products. So you'd look at a product of a brand, you see something you've not seen before. Oh, right, okay, what does that do? And you go and like, I'm just intrigued of like, what does it do? How does it work? Where does it fit? And then literally you get a sample made, you get it put together. Like, 'cause on paper it can look great, like you can think this will be the best thing ever, but for whatever reason when you take it, it's not as good as you thought it'd be. Like it'll work, but it won't be as good as you thought it'd be. And then it just requires like a few tweaks there, and then you'll know once you've got it right. You'll know.
Yeah, because the chemistry of like ingredients reacting to each other can change quite a lot.
Yeah, of course.
So I guess is it with your supplier that you can kind of have those conversations?
Oh yeah, definitely. They're really helpful.
Yeah.
especially in terms of like what could potentially work better. If a product's like if an ingredient's disrupting the product, what might work better to get a similar effect or the same effect. So they're helpful with that, and you know, they do work around the brand and look out for the brand's best interest.
Let's face it, you're busy with life, and picking out the healthiest food options can be a hassle. With so many options on the menu, how do you know what's the best for your body and taste good at the same time? Let Nourish Fit Food give you a little help in the kitchen. Our skilled, qualified chefs know how to make healthy taste amazing. So stop trying to count calories on food labels. We've already done that for you. We deliver incredibly healthy and delicious prepared meals right to your doorstep or to your work, taking the guesswork out of breakfast, lunch and dinner. Just heat and eat. Log on to our website where you can gain access to a large variety of meals that can help you lose fat, build muscle or just maintain a healthy lifestyle. There are always new dishes to try, always prepared with fresh, tasty, local ingredients. Just relax, enjoy good food and have more time for your busy life. Visit us at nourishfitfood.co.uk and begin your journey by ordering online great tasting food that's healthy for you.
So let's talk about the team that you're building. So I see a lot of new sponsored athletes on the table. Do you want to go into detail of who they are?
Yeah, of course. So the first person that we have sponsored is Kira. And Kira's someone that I wrote it on the post as well when we announced her. Like, Kira's someone that I've personally followed since probably like I was 18, 19, and like followed her journey as like from going to a girl who literally used to train in Pure Gym in Manchester, and she could squat like 100 kg for like a few reps, to now being like a world record like powerlifter. She's also an IFBB pro bodybuilder. Yeah. She's only 22.
Jesus.
Like, she came...
What weight is she lifting?
Oh, great. Like, her personal best, unofficial personal best that she did in the gym was a 260 deadlift. The girl weighs 75 kilos.
That's
like, she's crazy.
Insane.
And what else? She benches like I think she benches like 140. Like, she was saying to me in the gym the other day that she wants to bench 160 this year. She's trying to pull 300 this year off the floor. I don't know where she's at with squat, but when she came to the gym, she was high bar squatting 180 for 5 sets of 5. Like, she's seriously strong.
Yeah.
And she's lean.
Yeah.
Like, she's very lean.
Yeah.
She's in an off season at the minute, like bodybuilding, but she's still lean.
Yeah.
So she's like phenomenal.
That's
and like
amazing.
her like I say, she's only 22. So like, in my eyes, she's only scratching like the surface of what she's truly capable of. Like, she'll go to the Olympia. Like, she probably won't want me to say it on a podcast because it's like putting pressure on her, but I wholeheartedly believe that she will go to the Olympia and do a thing and do well, if not win it.
Yeah, for sure.
In a category. And then powerlifting wise, I think she can be an all-time world record holder, like, in the next year or so. In this year, maybe.
Wow.
So she's a serious athlete. And then there's then after that we bought on Guy Clifford Harding, who is a very accomplished bodybuilder and online coach. So we brought him on board. He's achieved amazing things in bodybuilding. You know, he's a PCA pro, done very, very well for himself in bodybuilding, and now he's an online coach and doing well through that. And then also as well, we have brought on Shane, who is a strongman / powerlifting coach. Probably one of the best, well, he is one of the best strongman coaches in the UK, if not the best strongman coach in the UK. Like, some of the clients that he has literally compete at World's Strongest Man. And he's also very accomplished as a lifter as well. Competed on world levels for strongman. Like, he's deadlifted 370 kg at 90 kilos body weight. So he's very, very accomplished. Like, he's knows exactly what he's talking about, and like, even like when he talks about a movement of an exercise, he breaks it down into such fine detail. His attention to detail is second to none, and that's probably why he is one of the best, if not the best,
So regarding
UK.
these the athletes and coaches that you've got on board, did you approach them? Did you approach you? Have they been having the supplements and you get in contact? Because
yeah, so I won't name names of who approached who,
Yeah, yeah.
but two I approached and one of them approached me.
Yeah,
And then yeah, we went from there.
Yeah.
You know, I could see them fitting really well with the brand and where I want the brands ahead. And yeah, we just chatted and things just went from there naturally.
So where do you see the vision of
Conteh Sports?
Conteh Sports?
I mean, I'd love it to be just like the #1 independent in the UK, and then after that, I'd love to take it to, you know, to Europe, Dubai, America,
Yeah.
and do it that way. And I've got a few, fingers crossed, there's a few interesting things actually lined up in Dubai already, which is coming to fruition.
Yeah.
But again, that's all on hold at the minute with the COVID situation. But there's definitely a few interesting things lined up. But in terms of like the next 3 years, just to be like top independent in the UK, and then just take it from country to country, basically. That's the plan.
Yeah, because I think regarding the COVID situation, obviously like gyms are shut, people aren't training as intensely as like they'd like to.
100%.
I think this is like a perfect time. Just from like a friend and kind of person that's kind of had an outside step in looking into your business throughout. This is the time to reflect and plan.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And focus on where you're going to be in the 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think getting these top ambassadors and sponsored athletes on board is so cool.
Yeah.
Because they fully believe in the products as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You're all young. You're how old are you now?
24.
So you're 24. The athletes that are coming on 22.
Yeah.
That have promised to be world record holders. This is early times, and this is a perfect time for you to be planning the future of Conteh Sports. And,
definitely.
And I fully believe like it's going to be super successful. I mean, you've already achieved so much so far. Let's have patience.
Yeah.
And for the future, when gyms and everything open, you'll nail it. So
Definitely.
it was amazing
Yes,
having you on
really
the 2
good.
meters.
Definitely enjoyed it.
I love like hearing the story of like rugby and powerlifting as well, and how kind of gym was your life and rugby was your life, and then you kind of flipped it and saw the vision of the niche of the supplement independent business that you've now built. It's really inspiring, and I'm sure everyone that's listening to this is going to take some golden nuggets from this story. So,
Hope so.
Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Been brilliant.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks so much, Jack.